Yo, what's up YouTube? James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 2019 Baek Battles. Today we have Jamie Boyt's 9th place world team once again with Breloom, Salazzle, Breloom, Necrozma, Dustmane, Xerneas, and Tapu Koko. I still don't understand this team, but then again, I also took a break for a while, so I haven't really used this team much. I've been trying to learn it again, and I'm still as confused as ever. But we are going to be playing some games in this episode today. If you want to check out Jamie's stuff, his links are in the description down below. But as we're finding some battles, let me ask you a question all for today. And that is, what kind of anime, TV show, a cartoon, whatever you watch, what are you excited that is upcoming? So there are a lot of great animes that are going on this season, which I'm very happy about, as I do like watching anime as well as, well, I don't really watch TV anymore, so I'm not really into TV. But if TV's your thing, let me know what you're excited for. I got quite a few shows that I'm excited for this season for anime, and I don't know what cartoons are going on right now, but for the anime, I'm really excited for the new Food War season, which is season 4, as well as My Hero Academia, which is also season 4. So I'm really excited for those. Those are probably two of my top 10 favorite shows that are going to, of all time, that are actually going to be airing. So pretty happy about that. So looking forward to watching those. But otherwise, yeah, let me know in the comments down below what anime, what TV show, what cartoon, whatever you watch, what are you excited for that is upcoming, that is coming out soon. So let me know in the comments section down below. But otherwise, yeah, Jamie's team. It's very complicated. Don't think I have the same mindset as Jamie, so I'm trying to figure out how to effectively play with this team. Still, I'm probably taking some pretty big losses because I just don't understand what you're supposed to do with this team. The lack of protects also. Like, this team has probably, I think, only 2 Pokemon with protect, which is the restricted Pokemon having protect. So if I mess up board positioning, if I mess up leads, it's extremely hard to come back because I can't exactly protect switch out into a safe position. I also don't have like Volt Switch or U-turn to change up the board positioning. I would have to make a hard switch read. But it's going to look like it's going to take a while to find some games. So we'll be right back with the first game of today's episode. Okay, we got our first opponent from Japan, 1548 rating. As our first opponent with a interesting team, dual Mega with Maul and Salamence. You want to assume both of them are Mega Evolutions. And then you got Incineroar, Xerneas, Tapu Fini, and the Lunala. So multiple Intimidate users, Xerneas and Lunala. How am I supposed to beat this? Lunala is already a troublesome Pokemon. This is looking pretty tough already. We already look like we're in a tough spot, but we are going to try to power through it. I think I have to go the Xerneas plus the Salazzle lead. So I think I will go for that combination. Can't exactly spore any of these Pokemon, so probably, do I leave the Breloom behind? I'm thinking I do leave the Breloom behind. I definitely want Necrozma in the back because Necrozma can do a lot of work with the Earth Power into the Mawile slot, which I think should pick up a knockout. I'm hoping it does with the Neuroforce boost, and then I'm thinking Salamence just because it puts on a lot of pressure with Tailwind as well as a Double Edge, and also can roar out to Xerneas potentially. So I don't think Tapu Koko is that great here. It doesn't exactly help too much here. It can spread Electro Web and Nature's Madness, but I don't think it's like super necessary against that team. And Breloom can't exactly spore anything because of the Tapu Fini. Although Superpower would be kind of nice, it just doesn't do much damage-wise that I think it's necessary in this game. So those are the 4 Pokemon I will bring here, and we'll see if it's good enough here. Let us see if we can, let's see. Not sure. Lunala is a really tough matchup. I don't like the Xerneas matchup either with this team. So yeah, this is going to be a tough one. That's going to be for sure. Let's see what my opponent brings. It's going to be Xerneas Salazzle on my side of the field against the Lunala Salamence. Okay. This is Earthquake or Double Edge. That's actually really scary too. So I could fake out Geomancy, which is definitely a play I can make here. The problem is we don't know what kind of Lunala set this is, if it's Roar or not. So I don't know if there's like an optimal play that I have here. I can go Salamence if I want to and not intimidate any of these and not fake out the Salamence and risk a Psyshock coming out. But I feel like if my opponent gets Tailwind up, that's pretty bad here. So, gotta think about a decent positioning, and I just don't think there is. I don't think there's a play that covers all options. And I don't know any of the sets on this team, so I think we gotta guess. I'm gonna go for the I hope that my opponent doesn't have Roar, and I think I'm gonna go with it. I guess the Lunala could also be Tailwind too. Like both of these Pokemon are known to carry Tailwind, so I think Tailwind could go up regardless. So this could be bad here. We're actually going to see Salamence Protect here, which is an interesting call. Maybe worried about Fake Out into Moonblast into that slot. But let's see what the Lunala goes for. It is going to be Tailwind. Okay, so that explains where the Tailwind is. Guess maybe a flank could have happened, but I was worried about a double edge coming out into the Salazzle slot, picking up the knockout, and then let's say Lunala goes for a Roar. That would have been a really bad spot, especially since Salamence does outspeed Salazzle if it is a max speed Salamence. So let's see. We will get the Geomancy up. We already confirmed that that Lunala is very speedy. It is very fast. Now we don't know if it carries Roar. I think if I have to bank on a play, I have to hope that it is not Roar. So I think my play here is actually to switch out to Salazzle and then the Necrozma to take a Psyshock. And I will protect my Xerneas here. The reason I'm going to make this play is because next turn, if I don't get roared, which I'm really hoping I don't get roared here, I can go out into maybe... I can go back into Salamence here and intimidate the Salamence on my opponent's side and live a double up from my opponent. So let's see here. Bring on the Necrozma. The Salamence is going to Mega Evolve, so there is probably no Mawile, unless my opponent brought both, but I really don't think you're going to bring base form Mawile to this game. We are going to see Salamence come out. And let's see. I'm thinking Double Edge into Z-Move could be a play, but it's probably Psyshock and Double Edge. Double Edge going to come out on the Xerneas, no surprise there, and it is Z-Move. I think this should be going out into the Xerneas slot, which is actually pretty good. That means my opponent already wasted the Z-Move and most likely won't be able to knock on my Necrozma with it. So that's actually pretty good here. I'm hoping that the bulk on Xerneas that I provided should be enough to live a Psyshock and then -1 Double Edge afterwards. So we will see the Xerneas take a pretty decent chunk from this. This should still be like 12%, I think, at the very least here. So let's see. Hopefully it doesn't crit through Protect, because that's like one of the things I am worried about. Oh wow, that actually did nothing. Okay, that's not too bad. We can go into Salamence here and just go for a... I want to say we just go for a Gleam. Or I could Moonblast. I'm very tempted to Moonblast here. I think I will actually just Moonblast. The reason I'm going to Moonblast is because we haven't seen Roar. I think Roar would have came out already. And if there is no Roar, I think keeping Salamence on the field, since it's intimidated and can't do much, is great for me. Because if I allow Xerneas to come in on my opponent's side of the field, on the lesser Tailwind, it can just go for Geomancy. And then the Lunala, since my, I'm thinking my Xerneas is going to be pretty low after this double up. Yeah, I think it's just a better play. So we're going to see Moongeist Beam into the... I'm assuming it's the Xerneas slot. Maybe no Psyshock? Yeah, this is Xerneas. Okay, that's actually pretty good, as we will be able to get a Moonblast off into the Lunala slot. And that will be able to do... that's some pretty good damage, actually. As long as it's not Trick Room Lunala for some reason, and it's max speed. And I feel like the only Pokemon that could benefit from Trick Room potentially is that Mawile. I think I'm... Should I Tailwind up? Or should I just Double Edge? I'm thinking the better play is just a Double Edge. Yeah, a better play is probably the Double Edge. Because even if Lunala protects, there's not really much my opponent can do afterward. Yeah. So I'm going to Double Edge the Lunala slot and just... I go for a Protect here. I'm hoping... There was actually one play my opponent could have made. If there was an Incineroar in the back, my opponent could switch in an Incineroar. So you could fake out Tailwind the following turn. But luckily my opponent didn't make that play. We will protect the Xerneas right here. Double Edge going to come out probably in my Salamence. Yep, okay. I hope we live Moongeist Beam. I feel like we should. Yeah, so nice play from my opponent getting that read right, but I don't feel like risking Xerneas is to call it all here, as Moongeist Beam going to come out into the Salamence slot. Yep, we're able to live it, and Double Edge will be able to connect with the Lunala slot. So Lunala will go down. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So that is one piece of the puzzle, and Salamence goes down, which is actually perfect for me because this is probably the best position I could ask for. Because now I'm able to get a free switch into the Salazzle, I think. What were the Pokemon that my opponent could have? Mawile, which is pretty much eliminated, I think, from my state of mind. With the Salamence, we have the Xerneas in the back, Incineroar, or Tapu Fini, and I think Salazzle covers all three pretty nicely. The reason is if Incineroar comes in, I can just fake out the Incineroar and go for Dazzling Gleam, and there's pretty much nothing my opponent can do to stop that. Same for the Tapu Fini. And Tapu Fini is going to come out here, so I can just go for a Fake Out and Dazzling Gleam and get a bunch of damage off into my opponent's side of the field. So, yeah, my opponent exactly has no switch in the Dazzling Gleam right now. We can go for the Fake Out in the Tapu Fini. We can go for Dazzling Gleam, and hopefully 2 Dazzling Gleams will be able to pick up the knockout. I don't think Dazzling Gleam would activate the berry, but even then, yeah, I don't think there's not much my opponent can do there. Like Salazzle plus Xerneas in the late game, I think just swept. And I think that's exactly what we were able to do. So, fortunately, we are able to pick up a win against Lunala. I feel like Lunala is one of the Pokemon that gives this team incredible trouble. And thankfully, we were able to actually beat down the team through Lunala because Xerneas is so good. Xerneas was a great Pokemon. They were able to Geomancy off. My opponent not really being able to get much momentum. I'm guessing the last Pokemon was Xerneas, so there was no Incineroar. So I guess my opponent couldn't make that play, which was very fortunate. Bringing the Fini did make sense because he didn't want to get spored by the Breloom, which, yep, definitely was good for me because that way Xerneas was just able to sweep through once I weakened the Lunala and was able to yeah, and the reason I went for the Double Edge over Tailwind is because I felt like there's no reason to really Tailwind right there if I can knock out the Lunala the following turn. Because the position is, even if Lunala protected, I could still Moonblast the Salamence slot and Double Edge the Lunala the following turn. The reason I would never click Dazzling Gleam in that situation is because that there is a potential wide guard from my opponent. So a wide guard from my opponent could have actually made this game a little bit more difficult, which is why, especially if I got greedy. So that's the reason why I would be clicking Moonblast, and I want to find a position where I could be able to keep the weaken the Lunala, which is why I went for that Moonblast, so I could potentially keep it into a state where I can either knock it out with a Moonblast once again from my Xerneas, a Double Edge from my Salamence, or potentially fling into Overheat would be able to knock out the Lunala, which is why. And gaming the Salamence on the field was great because my opponent was worried, like never switched it out because of the fact that Salamence wasn't doing too much with the Intimidate, but the fact is if one of my other opponent's Pokemon needed their health because they didn't want to take a Dazzling Gleam, that was absolutely huge, which is why I tried to keep the Salamence on the field as much as possible. But we are going to take a while to find another game, it looks like, so we'll be right back with the second game of today's episode. Alright, we got Mistro with a 1590 rating. Ooh, running a Zernogre team. Okay, with Xerneas, Kyogre, Salamence, Incineroar, Kartana, and the Tapu Koko. So, what exactly do I like here? I really do like the Tapu Koko. I think this game, Electro Web's going to be pretty key here. I think I like Electro Web a lot here. The pressure to deal damage to Kyogre is also really nice. Like I just don't see anything wrong with me leading the Tapu Koko plus Xerneas. I think like I just don't see what covers that. Yeah. Now the question is, what do I want to bring for the following back? I could bring Necrozma, which I'm liking here, and Salamence, which I'm also liking, but Breloom does make a lot of sense here because of the fact that it can superpower Kartana, Incineroar, and Bullet Seed the Kyogre, but I feel like that's super difficult in general, so I think I'm going to bring Salamence just for reliable Intimidate and Tailwind support, which is, I think, really huge here. as we don't know how fast that Kyogre is. And if it's faster than Breloom, that's actually a pretty big problem because my opponent's team is pretty fast besides the Incineroar. That would allow my opponent to double up the Breloom slot and pick up a knockout. So that's the main reason I just don't want to bring the Breloom, because I don't know the speed stat of the Kyogre here. So we'll see what my opponent decides to do here. I think overall we should be pretty fine. We're going to see the Kartana Incineroar lead, which is a-okay here because I think Salamence can come in pretty safely. So Tapu Koko plus the Xerneas will lead here. Baek probably going to come out. Yeah, we should be pretty good here. Now the question is, what do I want to do? I kind of want to just go for a Madness off right into the bat, I think. I'm going to Madness the Kartana slot and just go out into... I could go into Necrozma too, but I think Salamence is just a lot safer. I get Intimidate off, which is nice, in case my opponent decides to Leaf Blade the Tapu Koko slot. The only thing I'm worried about is if the Kartana has A, Substitute, or B, Gracium, which would be a little bit difficult, but I think we're still fine regardless. So let's see what my opponent is going to do here. We will switch out the Xerneas here into the Salamence, which I don't think is faster than Kartana, actually. So I guess maybe there's one problem with that. I think Incineroar Fake Out is very safe here, but U-Turn's also acceptable play here. But we're just going to see Fake Out into the Xerneas slot, which is an interesting play. Maybe it's Tailwind from the Kartana coming out? It is Tailwind, okay. Electro wouldn't have helped here in this situation, but I feel like we're pretty good here. Yeah, I think I can go for an Electro Web here into my opponent and a Tailwind. Yeah, I just don't see a reason not to go for Tailwind Electro Web. I basically catch the Kartana. I can get my own Tailwind up, and I'm going to actually have a turn of Tailwind advantage, which is actually pretty big here. So I think Electro Web is very safe here, as well as a Tailwind. So we are going to see the Kartana actually retreat here into the Salamence. So my opponent only brought one of Kyogre or the Xerneas, and I'm guessing it's going to be that Xerneas slot, if anything. So Salamence going to come out, dish out and Intimidate. Electro Web will come out. We're faster than Incineroar on the Tailwind, no surprise there, but would have been nice to catch the U-turn, whatever's coming in with U-turn you want to assume here, and we will Tailwind up. So not too bad, not too bad. I'm guessing the Xerneas is going to come out though, which is pretty big because my opponent's going to be able to set up a Geomancy before me. Because a very safe play my opponent has is just switching out the Salamence into Incineroar and getting that Geomancy off. So still not the exactly greatest situation here. Yeah, Xerneas is going to come out. Let's see. Hopefully my DS doesn't go down too, because I don't have my charger with me. Best play is probably just to go for a Madness here into the Xerneas slot. Go out in a Necrozma. Or should I just Roar? Actually, I don't see a problem with roaring. Yeah, I don't see a problem with roaring. We do have Roar for a reason. And I don't exactly need Salamence alive if my opponent goes for like a Moonblast or Dazzling Gleam here. So I'll gladly go for the Roar here because like I don't lose anything too big. Like I think Salamence is a very sacrificial piece here. I don't need it exactly to win the game at all. I think if I have Koko next to Xerneas boosted, I can win the game. We're going to see Xerneas Protect, but that's fine. Like, I don't think I need to deal with that, as Madness is going to go off into the Protect as well as a Roar. Would have been nice to catch that Geomancy, but again, it's not too bad of a spot here. Kartana going to come out, which is actually beneficial here. Nice. Probably going to Madness the Incineroar so I can prepare for my Necrozma. And I am actually just going to go hard Necrozma, I think, because, like, I don't think you're Flare Blitzing the Salamence a lot. So I think overall it's just better to go out into my Necrozma here since it won't take too much damage in this situation. My opponent's last turn of Tailwind is great, so if I can, even if my opponent, let's say, doubles up my Tapu Koko and knocks it out, getting a free switch in to that Xerneas would be absolutely huge here, would be detrimental to my opponent, I think. We're going to see the Kartana retreat here into the Salamence, which is completely fine here. My opponent might be able to get our Tailwind up, which is a little bit concerning. It is a little bit concerning here. Because my opponent might be able to reset Tailwind. So, getting the Necrozma in. And my opponent probably just U-turning out here. Mana's going to go off into the Incineroar slot, which will do a good 50%. And U-turn will come out into the Tapu Koko. So, you can't exactly bring... I wonder what you're going to bring out exactly, because you can't exactly bring out your... Okay, so you can't bring out your Xerneas, really, because Sunsteel Strike is a big threat here. Maybe you're going to try to bring in Xerneas just to bring back the Necrozma. Bring back the Incineroar to intimidate the Necrozma. I guess I could see that play. But I feel like we're in a pretty good spot overall because my opponent hasn't gotten an opportunity to boost effectively. Xerneas is going to come out, so I think I will just go for an Electro up here and a Sunsteel Strike into the Xerneas slot. Tailwind going to peter out. Yeah, I just don't see a reason with not Electrowebbing and going for a Sunsteel Strike, because even if there's a switch, I don't think I mind it too much, because I feel like my opponent doesn't have exactly the best options, because like even if Xerneas switches out and Incineroar once again, I could go back into my Salamence for Intimidate and potentially set up my own Tailwind. Or I could go for offense here. There isn't really much my opponent can really do that like super pressures me, because my opponent doesn't exactly threaten the knockout right here. We're going to see the Salamence retreat here into the Incineroar, maybe a Protect from Xerneas, but even then, like, I just don't know what you do afterward. And the Electroweb just puts the Incineroar in range of Earth Power, I think, from regular Necrozma. Let's see here. Xerneas just going to Protect, which is fine. I'm not really too worried about like a Roar play. So Electroweb. Ooh, wait, did I activate Barry? No, I didn't. Okay. So next turn I could just go for Madness and Sunsteel Strike. Sunsteel Strike should be a 2 KO regardless. Discover Salamence coming back in for Intimidate. Yeah, I just don't see a reason not to just go for a Madness here. And a Sunsteel Strike into the Xerneas slot, because even if you fake out Geomancy, I think we're in an okay spot. It's not exactly the best spot in the world, mind you, but it is an okay spot, I think. Because I just don't think my opponent has an offensive presence against a Necrozma. There's definitely not a move that can knock out Necrozma immediately. So, yeah, we'll see what happens here. I also really hope that my battery will last. Because it's looking like this is going to be a decently long game. So, no fake out actually. So, this is huge. I think -1 Sunsteel Strike gets to Xerneas at 50%. I'm pretty sure. Geomancy going to come out. Okay, let's see. Moment of truth. If it doesn't, even then, I think we're... If it's a Flare Blitz or Zemu from the Incineroar, I guess that changes the game. But let's see. I think Zemu's on Cortana, potentially. Well, it could be Sash. We only revealed that it's not Assault Vest on the Cortana, which is the common item. And it's definitely not Scarf, I think. So let's see. Sunsteel Strike, no Fake Out came out. I don't see a reason because even if you faked out one of these slots, I got it at least 50% off with the other, I think. Sunsteel Strike should pick up a knockout. Yeah, knocks out the Xerneas. So Xerneas goes down, and then I think my opponent, no restricteds. Flare Blitz comes out. That's completely fine. The Salamence, I think, wins the endgame now. I don't think that's going to knock it out. Yeah, okay, perfect. Eats its berry, but I think we're pretty good here. Because I can just go for Electroweb now. Yeah, Electroweb seems pretty good. I can go for Electroweb, I think, Earth Power into the... Okay, gonna try to get my charger. Okay, I think I timed out. But I hope I got the Electroweb off at least. I think I went for Electroweb Protect here. It looks like it did register, so... Protect the Necrozma here. Oh man, I had to run up all the way to the stairs. Electroweb gonna come out into the Salamence in the Incineroar. It's not max speed Salamence, it looks like, so that's interesting. Double Edge gonna come out in a Tapu Koko slot, so Salamence gonna take even more damage, and Flare Blitz gonna come out into the Tapu Koko slot as well, which is completely fine, I think. Yeah, we should be fine here. I should be able to get Xerneas out and click Moonblast and Dazzling Gleam, and I just don't see how my opponent really reacts to that, because Earth Power should knock out the Incineroar, knock out the Kartana on the switch in 2. I could also go for Geomancy, which is why my opponent might not even protect here. So go for the burst Earth Power here. I didn't need Coco to win the game. I kind of wish I was able to just go for the Electroweb, and I think I would have just Electrowebbed and bursted and just attacked anyway, because a free switch into Salamence would have been fine. But I think it would have been really hard to lose the game regardless. Earth Power going to come out into the Incineroar slot, which will be able to pick up a knockout, and then we just get the Moonblast off into the Salamence slot, and that'll be able to pick up a knockout, and then Kartana can't pick up 3 knockouts, and it just goes down to 1 attack regardless. So Moonblast going to go into the Salamence, pick up the KO, and we're going to be able to pick up a win as I try to still catch my breath, because I did a pretty fast sprint towards the stairs. But we got the Kartana back in, and I can go for a Moonblast. Is the optimal play the Moonblast? No, the optimal play is always the Geomancy here and go for the Earth Power into the Kartana slot. Match is going to be forfeit, so we are able to pick up a win, and that is going to be 2 wins in today's episode. Luckily, my 3DS barely made it, but yeah, so we're able to pick up 2 wins. I think my opponent, I don't know, I didn't really allow my opponent to set up a Geomancy freely, and since my opponent fake out, like the Xerneas just went down, which I felt like was pretty big. I understand, but like, I don't feel like I had no reason not to go for Madness and Celestial Strike, especially since I revealed it earlier, I believe. So it wasn't much. Maybe my opponent could have been more patient, get my Necrozma to like -2 or -3 with rotating Intimidates that my opponent had, and then maybe try to find a way to get some speed control with Salamence, I think. But overall, as long as I just denied those options, I felt like I was pretty good. And just being able to knock out the Xerneas, I think, just screwed over my entire game plan, because I think my opponent really relied on trying to get the Xerneas boosted to try to beat down my team, but I just never allowed it to really happen freely. But hope that everyone enjoyed today's episode of VGC 2019 at Baek Battles. If you did enjoy it and liked it, please leave a like down below, show support, as well you can leave a comment down below and share this video with your friends, as I am currently trying to catch my breath still. But if you do want to go an extra mile to support my channel, there is my Patreon page and my Twitch channel. Thank you all to those who support me on those platforms. But otherwise, you can also check out Jamie's team down below in the description, as well as his YouTube channel if you do want to go check him out. But otherwise, yeah, again, be sure to answer that comment question down below, the question of the video, which is, what anime, TV show, cartoon are you most looking forward to that is going to be happening in the future or coming out soon? But otherwise, thank you all for tuning in. Have a great day, people. Until we battle again, I'll catch y'all later.